drawing was created by my son when he was 3 years old. At that time, he was obsessed with mainly two things. One was drawing, and the second one was vehicles. So it is no wonder that when his father and I told him that I was pregnant and that he was becoming an older brother, we received this tribute from him, a family drawing. You can see Daddy is a big car, Mommy is a big car, the kids are two smaller cars, and there is a baby car inside Mommy's belly. He was definitely born creative, but believe it or not, we all are. 3 years later, my son is 6 years old, and I arrive at the kindergarten at the end of the day. The kindergarten teacher tells me that today my son refused to participate in the creative activity she initiated. So on our way home, I asked him about it, and he explained. The kindergarten teacher asked all the kids to create a tree, and then she put on the tables 2 buckets of paint, a bucket of green paint and a bucket of brown paint. Okay, I said, so what happened? And my son said, Mommy, you know I cannot draw a tree out of 2 colors only. We often confuse creativity with an artistic talent, but these are 2 different things. An artistic talent can be one phase of creativity, but being creative is a much stronger tool. Creativity is all about being original, flexible, and useful. Creative thinking can help you solve problems or make better decisions. It can earn you more money and improve your relationships. But most important of all, creativity can help you evolve in times of rapid change. And yet, so many people I know describe themselves as being not creative. And that is perfectly fine with me, for I have always earned my living out of being the one creative person in the room. I've been engaged with creative activities for as long as I remember myself. I've always felt that I have my own unique way of looking at things, and luckily, I get all the support and encouragement from my parents. Today, I would like to present to you my 6 tips for exercising creative thinking. Tip number 1, loosen up. We often describe creative people as relaxed, easygoing, free-spirited souls. Well, when we think of Steve Jobs, for instance, we know that this is not very accurate. But we do know that tension and stress withholds creativity. So if you define yourself as an uptight person, let's begin with the loosen up exercise. Take a pen and a paper and make a list of all the things that you must do. All of those tasks that are always urgent and cannot be delayed. Now, take a yellow marker and mark down 2 or 3 of these tasks. Simply put them aside for a while. Congratulations, this is called procrastination, and it is something we creative people do very often. And it's not because we are lazy. Sometimes we are, but this is not the main reason. You see, only when we push aside those troubling thoughts of what we must do or should do, only then we make room for original thoughts and new ideas. Tip number 2, find your inspiration. I found my inspiration when I was 10 years old. It was Pippi Longstocking, and she was awesome. She was original, she was funny, she was creative, she solved all of her problems by herself, and she was not afraid of taking risks. Your inspiration could be a rock star. It could be a well-known artist, or a world leader, or a professional mentor. But it can simply be your fun, full of imagination grandparent. Tip number 3, ignore party poopers. So many people we meet in our lives, people who truly love us, are unknowingly holding back our creative involvement. It can be an overprotective parent or a skeptical partner, or even the cynical vibe between our friends. These people might put us down and make us believe that our lives will be better if we do not carry out our ideas. They might encourage us to follow the crowd and conform. So what do we do with these people? It's very simple. Approach these people, give them a huge hug, and proceed with your own way. Tip number 4, feed your brain. Imagine your brain is a huge ballroom, and you invite 5 of your friends to that room. Now, there are drinks, there is food, you're having fun, everybody's laughing, but after a while, the conversation dies. Now, imagine inviting 500 people to this ballroom. Now, let the party begin. So many conversations, so many different topics, ideas, connections, interactions. If you want to be creative, you want your brain to meet many new people every day. It is very easy to feed your brain these days. Just get yourself a set of good quality headphones and sail away to the sea of webinars and podcasts. Become a lifelong learner. Do it alone, do it regularly, and don't forget to give yourself some extra time to reflect and ponder. Tip number 5, practice change. Becoming more creative is a mental journey. It is all about getting out of your comfort zone and think differently. It is about seeking new options and being curious again, using your imagination. But changing our habits is not easy. Thus, let's train our brain to like change. Think of something you do very often, something that you do regularly for years. Now, think of one way to do it differently. Maybe trade your coffee break with a fruit break, or take the bus at a different station. You might find that even thinking about it is quite intimidating. How will you survive without your coffee break? What will happen if you miss the bus? Well, this is time to overcome those fears and practice change. Build yourself a flexible mind. Tip number 6, be brave. When I was preparing this talk, I came across an interesting piece of text. It was the first page of a personal diary of a 10-year-old girl. And it said something like this: "Today I started writing my diary. Nothing wonderful happened to me today. I started doing my homework, and then I went to play the piano. On my way home, I looked up at the sky, and I saw small clouds floating across the sky. Nothing to write about today. Enough." Is this text exceptional? No, it isn't. It sounds like a typical 10-year-old first page of a diary. But the 10-year-old girl is Leah Goldberg, one of the greatest Hebrew poets I know. And this diary page was her first brave step. So, what does being creative mean to you? What is your dream? Is it writing a novel or just making an excellent PowerPoint presentation for your job? Is it being a better team leader at work, stand out above your colleagues? Or is it developing a scientific idea? Whatever you always wanted to do and never had the time or the courage, do it now. All great leaders, all inventors and artists have begun their journey with one small step, their first experience. Do not be afraid to make mistakes. Creative people fail and rise. This is how they get smarter. Do not be afraid to look foolish. Foolishness is a virtue. And yes, this is my grandmother. Encourage your kids to read and explore. Make your home a creative habitat for them. And next time your kid accidentally spills your coffee, don't yell at him, "Oh no, what have you done? How can I trust you?" Instead, try saying, "Oh, what have you done? But look at that funny coffee monster on the floor." So, if you ask me, can everybody be creative? I say sure. Everybody can be more creative every day. Thank you very much.